Welcome to day 3. Can you believe you are here? I'm so excited. I have to say this before we even get into this. Day 3 is my absolute favorite because I absolutely love doing hooks. Oh my gosh. It's like my all-time favorite thing. And I have to say, I will admit this. I am really good at them. I'm not so good at the close. Those of you that will join me in the Go Live League, or those of you that are already in the Go Live League, you heard me talk about this a lot. It is my nemesis, but hooks, watch out, baby. Okay, so before we get started, does everybody have the workbook for day 3? I tried to print it so I could hold it up for you, and my printer is going, it's not happening today. So I have no printed copy of the workbook to show you, but please make sure you have it. If you don't have it, don't stop watching, okay? You can take some notes and then just make sure you get the workbook to help you apply this before you actually go live today, all right? So before we get into hooks, even though I'm dying, I would love to know, how did you get along with the Pow Bubbles? So last week, let's just do a quick refresh. I know we've had and we've also had some people join us for this Go Live Challenge, like over the weekend. So I'm gonna do a teeny tiny catch you up / review, okay? So last week you learned about making eye contact, and it's about not looking at yourself on camera like I'm doing right now, but looking at the black hole of death, which is what I call the camera lens, okay? And you learn some tips and tricks for doing that. Then on day 2, you learned about hook, story, call to action, the 3-step model that you're learning inside of this challenge. And we deep dived, if you will, on telling stories, on how you find stories, and Pow Bubbles as a way of brainstorming stories. So how did you do? Did you do your Pow Bubbles? Did you come up with stories? How is your eye contact? Gimme. Put some comments in for me, and we'll read them on live on air. I feel like I'm a radio DJ. Live on air, we'll read them. So let's go to comments. Because it's so easy to do this with my phone, but that's okay. All right. So let's see here. Kathy's here. Christy's here. Denise is here. Lucy's here. Adriana's here. Did I already say Denise? Yes, I did. Emmy's here. Kelly's here. Karen's here. Oh my gosh. I love seeing all your faces. Danny's here. Yay. Okay. So how did you get on with Pow Bubbles and with storytelling and with eye contact? Normally when we're in Zoom, we have I do this. Are we good? Are we not so good? Or are we somewhere in the middle? I can't see all of you, but you can at least give me some feedback. So tell me how you're doing with everything so far. Okay. So let's see what we've got so far. Emmy said I had trouble doing over 3 minutes without looking all over the place. Okay. It's okay if you have to use your notes. I'm using notes. I have notes right here. Okay. We're going to talk more about using notes. For those of you that are in VIP, you're going to get a whole module on using notes. So know that that is coming. Okay. Know that that is coming. The best tip that I can give for all of you is if you are writing way too many words on your notes and you are worried about getting the words exactly right, you're going at this backwards. Okay. What your note should be is an order. I'm going to talk about this, and then I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about this. Don't worry about getting your words precisely right, because it's not about getting them precisely right. It's about feeling and sharing that with your audience. It's about speaking from here, not getting the words right. Okay. So give yourself a little break there. Okay. Let's see here what else we got. Okay. Danny says, I'm here just listening in the background. I'm sorry you're sick, Danny. Oh, that's a bummer, but I'm glad you're here listening. All right, let's see what else we got. Fiona's here. Good morning. Where are you? What part of the world are you in these days? Okay, Mari says the bubbles are growing. Gets out of control, doesn't it? So much fun. I love it. Okay, Denise says, I want to increase my storytelling. You did give me some good suggestions. Yes. And again, for those of you that are going to join us in the Go Live League membership, there's 2 full masterclasses on storytelling. So you're going to get so much more. And for those of you that are in VIP, you got a little bit on storytelling. So hopefully that was helpful. Don't forget that you have access to me on Messenger. So if you need help storytelling, ask me questions. We can chat. Okay. Oh yeah, the accountability partners. Danny, thank you for reminding me. Some of you asked for accountability partners around the POW bubble. So I'm so excited that you and Jackie had an outstanding session. You'll have to tell us all about it. Oh, so exciting. Okay, Grace is here. Oh, I love it. Okay. Adriana says, love the post-it, but the get started and stopping the love is tricky because I don't see the button. Okay. Are you on your phone or computer? Because it is a little bit tricky. Here's what I would tell you to do. Here is a real fun hack. And I know if anybody, you will do it. Okay. I want you to just go live in my group, like as soon as we get done here. And I don't want you to plan anything. I just want you to talk out loud and say, okay, I'm live. Now, where is the end button? Do it on your desktop, do it on your computer. It's just us in here. So it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to pay attention. We all know you're in here practicing. So practice finding the button. If you don't want to do it live in my group, okay, maybe that's a little weird. Create a fake Facebook group for yourself and do it there. Okay. Okay. Emmy says, I stumble all over my words. Okay. That's just practice. And there's 2 kinds of practice here. Practice 1 is just doing it more. The more comfortable you are sitting here on camera, then the easier it's going to be because you're not in your head, you're more relaxed. Okay. The other part of practice is practicing this specific video that I'm doing. The more familiar you are with what you've got going, the easier it gets. Do me a favor. You know what we're going to do? I'm making a call. I'm making an audible right now. I had something else planned for next Thursday's live in the Get on Camera group, but what if we do this instead? What if we do a Zoom call where you all can come and join me in Zoom? We can be like live with each other and we'll talk about all these kinds of questions. Is that something you would like? Just do me a favor in the comments, say yes to Zoom, and then we will do that next Thursday. I think that would be super helpful. Then I can answer any and all questions that you have. And it'll be so good. I mean, I'm already getting excited and we haven't even done it yet. Okay. Let's see what you got other questions. Adriana says, Stacy and I are meeting on Thursday for POW Bubbles. Yay. You have to let us know how this goes. Yes to Zoom, yes to Zoom, yes to Zoom. All right, it is done. Done. All right. Are you ready to talk about what you're all here for, which is day 3 of the challenge, which is all about how you start with a hook? Have you ever been fishing? Like fishing. Have you ever in your whole life gone fishing? It doesn't matter if it's in the pond by your house or a lake or the ocean from a big boat. Doesn't matter how small or big those fishes are. Have you ever gone fishing? When I was a kid, my grandfather took me fishing. He grew up it's a whole long story. Sometime I'll tell it to you. But he grew up on a ranch in Montana. And every summer when we were kids, we all caravanned up in the campers and RVs up to Montana Ranch. And it was like this big family reunion, lots of fun. And I remember every year, Grandpa would only take one kid fishing. Like it was like a big deal when it was your turn. And I remember it was my turn and it was so awesome. And everything was wonderful. I was so proud. And he's explaining and teaching and telling me all of these wonderful things. And it was awesome until I had to touch the worm and then the fish we caught. And then it was game over and I never fished again. I have not fished since. But I will say I learned a lot of really cool things. And what I learned is that you got to have bait, whether it's a wiggly worm or a lure that has some sort of motion or whatever else. You have to dangle something in front of that fish to get it to bite. That's what a hook is. What you are doing essentially is dangling bait in front of your viewers, your audience, to get them to bite. They're sitting there scrolling, right? You got to get them to stop the scroll. You got to get them to stop doing whatever they're doing and tune into you instead. You've got to make them want to watch your video. You might make them want to stop this and watch. You want to make them stop and unmute, which is a whole separate thing, and watch your video. That is a hook. It is literally the first words out of your mouth. First words. Now, you've all been on calls, on videos, I'm sure, and I can't imagine any of you have ever done this, but where the video starts and the person is going, how's everybody doing? I went to Starbucks today. What are you having for lunch? And let's just wait 2 more minutes for everybody to join. I'm sure there's more people coming. And it's like 15 minutes later before you start. Yeah, you've all been there. Is that not so super frustrating? You are like, andale. I am a busy entrepreneur. I don't have time for this. I'm here for this. And you're all over the place. Okay. When you are doing these kinds of live videos, you've got to get right to the point. Because if you don't, they can leave. They're not a captive audience. They might stop their scroll and tune in. And then if you're all over the place rambling about who knows what, and they're going to be like, what? Why would I stay here? I don't even know what we're talking about. She's not even getting to the point. I'm not compelled to stay, so I'm going to bail. And there's nothing worse than seeing that little eyeball in the corner that counts up and you got people joining and then you see it drop back down. Whew, that's painful. Okay. So the hook are the first words out of your mouth. And we're going to talk about what are those first words out of your mouth. But I want to be crystal clear. It's not a whole bunch of stuff. It's right to the point. Okay. Now today you are going to learn my absolute favorite kind of hook. It is the one that I use 95% of the time. Now, here's the deal. There are 20 other hooks that you're going to learn inside the Go Live League membership. But I'm giving you this one because it's that powerful. It's going to make the biggest difference. And there's so many reasons it's so awesome. Okay. And that is, ask a question. Ask a question. That's your hook. That's the bait that you're dangling. You've got to get the right question for sure. That's going to be important. But you want to ask a question. Why do you suspect asking a question would be valuable? You've probably seen people do this. You've probably seen me do it. You've seen other people, many of them who are in the Go Live League, who have gone live during this challenge and have modeled the way. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was so good, right? Why do those questions work? Why are they so important? I'm going to check my phone for your comments. I see lots of you went fishing and some of you have not. And I love this from Denise. You need the right bait. Yes. So important. So important. Okay. I lost y'all. Hold on. It's coming back. Okay. Lynn, don't waste my freaking time. Yes, exactly. Get to the point. The point is you start with your question. Okay. Why is a question so important? Why does it, I guess really the question is, why is it that it works? Why is it that it works? What do you think? I'll wait a minute. I'll wait for you to answer. Boop, boop, doo. Okay. Emmy says, because we like to get involved. Yes. Yes. Okay. One of the reasons that asking a question is so powerful is that it gets your audience engaged with you. Now, engaged can look different. It could just be they're bought in to what you're doing. My mom used to say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yes. You want them to grab onto that and be like, oh my gosh, she's talking to me. She's talking about the exact problem that I'm having in whatever it is, whatever your niche is. Okay. So they're engaged in that they're connected to the topic and the point of your video. It could also be that they are engaged by typing comments. And that's the kind of question we want them to feel like they have to answer. Because the more comments that you get, especially at the beginning of your video, then the algorithm starts to spin. And what happens is that video now shows up in more people's feed because the algorithm goes, ooh, there are comments here. People are liking this. I better show it to more people. Okay. So the question does multiple things. It engages and it connects with your audience and it gets them typing. Okay. Any questions about that piece before we continue on? I'm guessing that's pretty good. Let's see here what else we got. Okay. Oh, I love it. You guys are so good. Look at all these comments. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Emmy says appeals to our ego. Okay. I like this. She's talking to me. I like it when we talk about me. Your audience feels that way, right? Okay. Lucy says, because they relate to it. Yes. You are talking about something that I need right now. Like this resonates. So I'm going to listen, which is what we want them to do, right? Okay. Denise says they want to hear what you have to say. Yeah, because I'm asking a question and I'm thinking, you want this, right? Well, guess what? We're going to spend this whole video talking about this thing. And now your viewers are going, oh yeah, this is what I need, right? That's what you want. That's the image I want you to have in your head. Okay. Kathy says it starts the conversation. Yes. Participation. It makes people think. Connection, engagement. It's about them. Not about you. About them. Love it. Okay. Aaron says, does the question go in the description box or is it the first thing you say in your video, trying to understand how to stop the scroll when the video is mute? The answer is yes. It is both. Okay. You're going to put that hook first line of your description and you are going to say it. Now, as you spend more time with me and you learn more and more about doing videos, you're going to learn that you may want to adjust that just slightly. But for now, as you're getting started, repeat it. Same, because you're going to read that question and be like, oh, yeah, she's talking to me. Unmute. Now I'm watching. And now you're talking about it. Okay. All right. Let's talk about a little bit of a watch out here. What you do not want to do is rapid fire those questions. What do I mean by that? Well, let me give you like a bottom line. The bottom line here is one question. One, not 10, not 5. One. Okay. Now I will give you one follow-up question as long as there is a connection. And I'll give you an example so you see what I'm talking about. But it is not, do you do this? And do you have this? And do you have this? And do you have this? And what about this? And do you feel like this? And you feel like this? Because what happens is your audience goes, I don't know what to answer, so I'm going to do nothing. And then you don't get any typing and you want the typing. So it is one question. Okay. So let's use the example that we used that I did today. So I asked you all a question. Have you ever been fishing? Now, if I have instead, let's just do a take 2. This is, just to be clear, do not do it this way. Okay. Okay. And action. Hi, everyone. Have you ever been fishing? And what kind of bait did you use? Did you use a worm or was it lure? And were you in a lake or a river or did you go, was it like deep sea fishing? And like, what were you going after? Was it on a big boat or like a little boat or were you from a pier? Like, I really want to know which kind, did you have a pole or was it a stick with a string? Which question, Jamie, do you want me to answer? Because you just rapid fired a whole bunch of them. Your audience will go, that's not what you want. You want to start with one question. Have you ever been fishing? Boom. Put it out there. Let it sit there. If you need a follow-up, that's okay. as long as it's more about explaining the question or elaborating the question, not going in a different direction. Okay. So if I were to say, have you ever been fishing? Was it in like a body of water or the ocean? Okay, that level, since they are connected, your audience is probably going to be able to handle answering both. But anything more than that is going to get a little bit, ugh, okay? Now, what inevitably comes up here is, okay, how do I pick which question? Okay, so first of all, we learned Pow Bubbles. So use Pow Bubbles to brainstorm what possible questions you could ask, okay? But then how do you pick which possible question you want to start your video with? Throw a dart? Use your intuition? No. What you're wanting to do is make sure that the question you are asking is somehow connected to the point of your video. Make sure that there's a connection point that you can then tap back into when you are giving your tips, when you are doing your call to action, which we'll talk more about on Thursday. But make sure that there is flow between the question you ask, the story you tell, and the call to action. They should all be integrated. Okay. If you're struggling with how do I want to ask this question, but I can't connect it to my story or I can't connect it to my call to action, then you need a different piece, right? You got 3 pieces: hook, story, call to action. Something needs to change if these 3 are not somehow connected and integrated. Okay. The other question that can typically come up is, well, what if I'm trying to cast my net? We're really going to go on this whole fishing thing. And I want to attract a larger audience. And so I want to ask a bunch of questions because I want to appeal to lots of different people. Okay. Then what you need to do is ask a different question that appeals to more people, not a bunch of questions. Okay. Remember what we talked about last week. You want your audience to feel like, oh my gosh, she is just talking to me. And if I go and ask, are you this or are you that? Or have you done this? Or are you this? Or are you that? Or are you that? What it feels like to me is it's not just me. She's talking to like all of us. And you want to feel like it's just to me. Okay. So if you come up with, where are my notes here? If you come up with, we're going to just do a little Pow Bubble demonstration here. Oh, this looks like a little bug. I could put a little antenna on him. And these are all, this is my video, right? And this is hook 1, hook 2, hook 3, all different questions that I could ask. All of those can become different videos at different times. You repeat content. You just might use a different hook. Put it on a different platform. Do this video with this hook on your personal profile. Do this hook with this video on your Facebook group. Mix and mingle. Okay? You can still get to all of the different people that your question might go out and reach. You just don't want to do it all in the same space. Okay, let me see if you got questions on that. And then we're going to talk about one more thing. Hang on here. Okay, let's see here. Lynn says repetition reinforces your message. Yes. The analogy that I like to give, I think I gave it in a previous video, is think about at the holidays. You watch your favorite holiday movie like a gazillion times. Like I can't tell you how many times I've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Like I've lost count, but I still love that movie. I love it for so many reasons. And you still watch it and you learn something else and you see a little nugget that you didn't see the last time. Same with your content. Okay. Okay, no more questions. So we're going to continue on. Okay. Another way that you can go about figuring out this question is to think about what problem does your video solve? So I'm going to do a video and I'm going to talk about this. Going back to your Pow Bubbles. This is the point of my video. So it's in the center. What question can I ask to identify the problem that my ideal client may be facing? What's keeping them up at night that then my video solves? Okay. One way to look at it. All right. What questions do you have about hooks? We're going to do a quick review and then I'm going to take some of your questions. I'm glad that Karen likes the same movies that I do. It is a classic. Oh my gosh, that's so good. All right. All right, let's review this model because I want to make sure you understand how these pieces go together. So the 3-step model is hook, story, call to action. Yes? All right. The hook is what stops the scroll, attracts people like bait, and gets them to watch. Your story is what keeps them on. And then your call to action, which we will talk about on Thursday, that is what gets them to take action, gets them to apply what it is that they've learned. Okay. So the hook grabs attention, the story keeps the attention, and then the call to action we'll learn on Thursday. All right. Everybody with me? Understand where you're going here? Yes? Okay. Your homework is to go live and you are going to start your video. Literally, the first words out of your mouth are going to be the question. Okay, so let me just be super clear here. It's not, hi everyone, how are you doing? It's a wonderful day of weather. The sun is shining. It's wonderful and beautiful. And I have a question for you. All right, are you ready for my question? Okay, here's my question. Go live. If you need a hi everybody, that's fine. But it's like 10 seconds. And then you just ask the question. Okay. You're going to try and hit that 3-minute mark. Try not to go over because I'm trying to watch videos as many as I can. And if they're super long, I won't watch them. Okay. So 3 minutes is the goal. Put day 3, hashtag day 3 in the description so you get credit. If you go live all 4 times, you will win prizes. Okay. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about what is your favorite tool or resource. Tool or resource. It can be yours, something you created. It can be your favorite app on your phone, a tool that you use. It doesn't matter. This is inspiration, right? Okay. Remember, you got to start with that question. You got to tell a story and you got to keep your eye contact. All right. Those of you that are in VIP, your extra video today was on connecting random stories into your business. So this gets really fun with hooks because you can start to go out of nowhere and talk about random things like a pink eraser and tie it into your business. You can talk about fishing and tie it into your business. This is a really critical skill. You guys are going to love this video. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay. I have 3 spots left in VIP if you're interested. So let me know. The link has been all over, so I didn't add it again. But if you need it, if you can't find it, just message me and I'll get it for you. Okay. All right. I got a bonus little tip I want to give you. But first, any questions on how you start with a hook, how you figure out a hook, and what your homework is today? I'm going to check comments, and then I got a bonus tip for you. Okay. You guys are sharing your Christmas movies. I love it. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to guess you're all good. Okay. If you got questions, there's still time. So drop them in the comments. Okay. All right. Let's talk a minute about rhetorical versus action-oriented questions. When I ask a rhetorical question, I don't expect a response back, right? I'm just wanting you to think about this. I'm wanting you to ponder and imagine and consider, okay? Those are wonderful questions, but not as a hook, because it doesn't get you one of 2 things you're trying to do, and that is you're trying to get them to type, okay? So you want this to be an actual question that they feel compelled or instructed to do, okay? So in order to, what is the difference between a rhetorical question and a question I actually want you to answer? What do you suppose the difference is between the 2? What is different in terms of what you do in order to drive that behavior? This is a tricky question. And there's actually a subpoint to my question. I love it when that happens. Okay. So Kathy's saying, ask any question. I think that's a question for me. So I'm going to come back to that, Kathy. Mary Beth. No questions left unanswered. You guys are so funny. I love you all so much. Okay. Question. Okay. The questions are coming in. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm going to come back to the questions. I promise. I promise. Okay. Rhetorical versus action-oriented. There's a delay. I think that's what's going on. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait just a few seconds here. Okay. Let me see if there's anybody knows rhetorical versus action. What is the difference in what you do? What is the difference in what you do? This is a tricky one. I get it. Okay. Let me do this. Let's do this because I want you to learn from this experience. I don't want to just give you the answer. Okay. Okay. Let Let me think of one that I could do. I got to think of I don't want to use fishing again. I suppose I could. I'll stay with the fishing, the fishing theme. Okay. So I'm going to start my video and I'm going to ask it as a rhetorical question. Actually, I'm not even going to give you that. Pretend I didn't say that. Pretend I didn't say that. I'm going to give you two options. Okay. Let's do option 1 first. Are you ready? Okay. And action. Hi, everyone. Have you ever been fishing? I want to talk to you today about why fishing is such a powerful story and why you need to do it. Is anybody going to answer my question there? Okay. Option 2. You ready? Okay. Action. Hi, everyone. Have you ever been fishing? Like fishing, like fishing. Have you done it? Have you gone fishing before? Tell me in the comments if you've gone fishing. Oh, I love seeing all of your comments. Okay, some of you have gone fishing, some of you haven't. It's a really cool experience. Today, we're going to use that as a powerful story to get into blah, 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 blah. Okay, what was the difference between option 1 and option 2? What was the difference there between those two options? Okay, Mary Beth said, I paused. Yes. I gave them time to actually answer the question, right? What else did I do? Karen says I was specific. I elaborated on the question, right? I didn't go in a different direction or go pull different questions or ideas. I stayed on the theme and I gave them options to choose from, right? Have you done this? Fishing. I gave them time to think and consider, okay? Nose is itching. Okay. Aaron says in option 1, we didn't have time to answer. That is super important. And that's where that pause comes in, right? If you go straight from the question to your content in your story, people don't want to miss the story. So they're not going to type. They're not going to answer because they don't want to interrupt you. And more than that, they don't want to miss anything. So you have to give them that time. Now that time, especially if you're new to doing videos, that can feel awkward, man. Just sitting there in silence. It's hard and it always feels way longer than it really is, okay? So hopefully you've seen now the ways in which you can kind of create that, make it comfortable for you, comfortable with them, without distracting and confusing your audience. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, Emmy says, I gave them time to answer. Yes. Denise says, I did not answer your own question. Yes. Okay, that's a really important call out. Okay. What I find doing many of these challenges is that it's really tempting to ask the question and then answer it for you. What you're doing in that moment is you're making it about you, not about them. And you want to make it about them. So resist that temptation and specifically resist it every time. It's okay if once in a while you do it because it's part of what you're wanting to share or there's a relevance or an intention behind it, but don't just do it because it's a nervous habit. Because what you don't want is every single video for you to be saying, yeah, me too. That's why I blah, blah, blah. Okay. So resist that temptation. I'm so glad you commented that, Denise, because I think that was an important call out. Okay. Lynn says, okay, here, hold on. Lynn, hold on. Let me read this, Lynn. Oh, I love this. Okay, she says video plus audio engages the eyes and ears. Asking action question gets the fingers moving. You got it. So you get the tactile touch, the audio, the video, more social engagement. Boom. More brain engagement. Boom. Makes you and your ideas more memorable. Yes, it does. Bravo. Bravo. Okay. We remember, we talked about this last week. Stories help us remember. Right? If I type an answer to my question, I'm remembering my own story. And that just locks in those memories. Okay. You got it. You got it. You got it. Got it. Okay. Let me think if there was anything else I wanted to share about the difference between option 1 and option 2. Hold on here. I'm doing one of the questions you guys ask is, what happens if you lose your place or you can't remember what you're going to talk about? This is what you do. You say, okay, I cannot remember what else I wanted to share. Hang on. Let me check my notes. Okay, we covered it all. We got it all. Okay. Now, time out. Was that awkward that I did that? Is anybody sitting at home or in your office going, oh, how dare she have notes? Oh, no, it feels like we're just hanging out, right? You don't care that I got to check my notes because I got good stuff on my notes and you don't want me to miss anything. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not about perfect. Okay. Okay, you guys get the difference between rhetorical and actual. Okay, you got to give them time. You got to give them space. You got to give them a little bit of help. You might have to encourage them. Like I actually said the words, please, I want you to comment. Type in the comments. Okay, remember, human beings for the most part are lazy. We're very comfortable. We're very comfortable sitting in our big comfy chair with our feet up, with our phone. We don't want to type. That's work. So you got to encourage me. Okay. Here's what's going to happen. You encourage somebody to start typing, then they type more. And the more comments they have throughout your whole video, it's awesome for all of the things we've been talking about. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh gosh, you guys have such good questions today. Oh, I can't wait to get to your questions. We're get there. We're gonna get there. I promise. Okay. Focus, Jamie. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I've got a little bit of stuff I want to cover. Then I'm going to wrap up. And then we'll go through every single one of your questions. Okay. I do have a hard stop at the top of the hour because I have a group coaching call. So if we don't get to all your questions, I'll save them and we'll talk about them on Thursday. And then, like I said in the beginning, we'll do a call next week, a Zoom call where we'll just get into everything. Okay. All right. If you go live all 4 times, okay, it doesn't matter how many you've gone live at this point. It's not connected to the day of the live. So if you're just starting the challenge and you haven't done any of them, you can still do them. I've had people go live 4 times in a row and practice each of the skills. So as long as you go live 4 times, you are going to win 2 things. Okay. Number 1, you're going to get to join the Go Live League for $1. Okay. Your first month is $1. And then it's $33 a month. You can cancel at any time. I'll talk about more of that in a second. The second thing that you're going to win is your name is going to go on a wheel. And next week, Monday, I'm going to spin that wheel and somebody's going to win 3 months in the Go Live League. So in order, and let me see here. In order to get on the wheel, you have to go live all 4 times by end of business Sunday. Okay. But in order to get your dollar coupon, it's just whenever you go live all 4 times. If that's 2 weeks from now, I'll still send you the coupon. Okay. All right. Now, what is the Go Live League? And oh, by the way, there is another option here. If you are somebody who doesn't like monthly memberships, you can pay for the whole year. And I give you a great price on that. You actually end up getting 3 months free. So that's an option. Just putting it out there. Okay. So what the heck is the Go Live League? So you're going to get a couple of things inside the Go Live League. The first is you're going to get a 12 module course that takes you through all of the rest of the video framework. So you've learned hook, story, call to action. You're going to learn all of the rest of the parts and pieces of actually structuring your video. So again, in that language about the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you need some structure, that's the bread around the ooey gooey center, that is your content. You're going to learn the structure in that 12-week course video. You can go faster than that if you want, but it's set up to go once a week. Okay. Then once you complete that video framework, then every month in the Go Live League, we focus on a different topic. We have done, like I told you, we've done storytelling twice, 2 different kinds of things. We've recently, this month, we're doing welcome videos. Next month, we're doing origin story videos, which is like your story. Then we're getting into challenges, videos for like doing a challenge like the Go Live Challenge. I'm missing things. Every month it's a different topic and we go all in for that topic. Okay. We also do something called Business Mastermind, which is like our Zoom call is going to be next week, where you can just ask questions on anything. And we all kind of jump in and help. I try to do those once a quarter. It just kind of depends on how the schedule lays out and what we have planned, but I try to do those regularly. I could go on and on and on and on and on. But what the Go Live League membership helps you do is you learn the framework, you practice the framework, and then you continue applying it in all sorts of different video settings. That's the Go Live League. Okay. If you have questions, let me know and we'll talk more about it. Okay. All right. Now, for those of you, I was hoping I was going to be shorter this time around. I should just stop even trying to get this first part to 30 minutes because it never happens. Okay. So your goal, and then I promise we'll do questions. Okay. Your goal with this is to dangle bait in front of your ideal perfect person. It is what is attracting that fish to want to watch your video. So you want that bait to be sparkly and shiny and wiggly and dangly. And the word I use all the time is juicy, right? Because that's what's going to make me stop my scroll. You want to make them want to stop whatever they're doing, unmute, and tune in and watch your video for however long your video is. That takes some pretty compelling stuff, right? But more than anything, you want to get them commenting, because if you can get them commenting, they're bought in and the algorithm spins up and more people watch your videos. That is the whole point around starting your video with a hook. And that is exactly what you are going to practice in your day 3 video. Okay, let's go back and go through any and all questions. I got about 20 minutes. If for those of you that got to go, it's okay that you got to go. The questions will be here if you want to come back and watch the recording. Okay, I missed some questions up above, so I want to go back and make sure I got them. Hang on here. Okay, I think I answered that one about, yes, your hook. Your hook also goes in your description. So just calling that out. We talked about that earlier, but I wanted to reinforce that. Okay, hang on here. Leona says, asking one question appeals to one type of person, not many. Yes. And I think oftentimes we get scared and we think, no, I want all of these people. Not, you want the person on the other end of your video to feel like you are just talking to them. So different questions attract different people, and that's okay. That's okay. Okay, hope that was clear. Okay, Kathy typed, ask any question. And I'm hoping what you were asking is, I just ask anything. You want to pick the right question that's going to connect to the story that you're going to tell. Think of it like this. I want to ask a question that says, do you have this problem or challenge? And then the video that I'm doing is going to solve or answer that. Okay, so today's topic is your favorite tool or resource. So I'm going to sit here and think, okay, what is my favorite tool or resource? Okay, maybe I'm going to say it's an app on my phone. Maybe it's I don't want to say the Facebook app, because although it may be my favorite. Anyway, not the point. I might ask a question and say, let's see here. So here's a good example. What question could I ask to get them to talk about the Facebook group? I can't come up with one. So maybe I need to pick a different story to tell about a different tool or resource that I can ask a compelling question to. Okay. So maybe what I would say is, do you struggle trying to memorize every single thing that you want to say on a video? Okay. So now what's happening is I ask the question, my ideal person's going, oh, all the time. I lose my place. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then you say, today, I'm going to tell you a story about my favorite tool or resource, the Post-it note. And I'm going to tell a story about how I use this tool or resource in the Post-it note because it answers or solves the problem of the question I asked. Hopefully that example helped. Okay. Okay, Aaron says, I have a question about starting the video. First time I didn't realize I was live during the 3, 2, 1 countdown, and then it like cuts off. Yeah, it's a booger, isn't it? It's easier. It is easier on your phone than it is on your computer. It's faster, if you will. There's a delay. So here's what I would tell you to do. Go into, you can do this in my group. If you want to practice, do it in here. I don't care. None of us care. So you can practice in here. But if you don't want to, set up a Facebook group that's just your practice room. The only member in your Facebook group is you. Don't have anybody else in there. It is your place to play and practice and test and do whatever you want. Okay. And then I want you to go live into that Facebook group. And as soon as you hit the go live button and it counts down 3, 2, 1, as soon as you see 1, I want you to start counting out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe count to 10 or 15, end the video. Then go back and watch the video and see what number you were on when it was live. Everybody's going to be different because it's a little bit different based on your Wi-Fi and your network and all of that. So find out what your number is. For most of you, it's going to be 3 seconds, 3 or 4 seconds, right around in there. So now you know what it is. So when you go live for Reels, you can, in your head, click the go live button. 3, 2, 1. And then in your head count 1, 2, 3. Don't forget resting Grinch face. 3, 4, and then start. Okay. You will get used to this. The more you do it, you will have it down, but doing that little trick will help. Okay. See if we have any questions. Hold on. I'm scrolling. Okay, here we go. Adriana says, if I'm starting a live and nobody is there, like a spontaneous live, um, okay, and then that's different for announcing that you're going live. Okay, so there's two points in here that I want to touch on. Okay, if you are spontaneously going live, okay, the statistic is that 80% of your views on your videos are going to come after your live. 80%. Okay. So what I want you to think about is you're doing that video for the 80% who are going to watch later. So nothing, I mean, it's one thing when I say, man, is it annoying when somebody is going on and on for 5 minutes and you're like, oh my gosh, get to the point. It's one thing when you're live. And it's even more frustrating when you're watching the replay because you're like, but I will say when you're watching the replay, at least you can fast forward. Okay. So you want to start no matter what, if there's 0 people on or 10 people on. Doesn't matter, because for the person who's going to watch a day from now, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, that's going to be the perfect video for them because it's going to start right out of the gate. Okay. Now, if you notice that you go live, you start with your hook, you get into your story, and all of a sudden you're noticing that now you've got a whole bunch of people on live that maybe missed the first part. Okay. What you can do is do like a little mini hook somewhere in the middle there to re-engage them and get them typing. Okay. Don't do it for every person. So what you don't want to do is be like, okay, hey, everybody, have you ever gone fishing? Fishing like with a pole and, worm fishing. Today, you're going to learn why. Oh, hey, somebody joined. Okay, let me back up. Hold on. Have you ever gone fishing? Answer in the comments. Have you ever gone fishing? Okay, where was I in my story? Oh, I went fishing with my grandfather once. It was wonderful. It was so awesome. Oh, somebody else joined. Hi, Sarah. Have you ever been fishing? Okay, where was I in my story? Answer that in the comments and then give me my story. And I'm making this over. I'm overdoing this, but it happens. You've seen it happen, right? It's crazy. Okay, so what you want to do is just get into your story. Tell the story that you're telling. Maybe finish don't interrupt yourself is what I'm saying. And then if you want to say, oh my gosh, we've had a whole bunch of people join. If you haven't guessed by now, we're talking about fishing. Have you, and those of you that have just joined, have you been fishing? Okay, so I know you missed the whole beginning of the story. It's probably worth going back and watching it from the beginning. But the gist is I used to go fishing with my grandpa and everything was going great. I was learning a lot until, okay, now you're all caught up. And then go. Do it in batches instead of as each person joins. Okay, so that's one part of the question you're asking, I think. Okay. The other part of this question that you're asking is, do I always want to announce that I'm going to be live? Okay. It really depends on where we're talking about. So if you are going live, if you've got a Facebook group and you are going live once a week, then I would say those should be scheduled. They're probably longer, right? They're not just a quick 2 or 3 minute video. They're probably 10, 15, maybe even a half an hour training or session that you're doing. Those should be events that you schedule. Now you can't schedule those kinds of events on your personal profile. So I would tell you, if you are just going to impromptu, spontaneously go live, do that on your Facebook profile and just go. And then schedule events in your group. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do a spontaneous live in your group. That's fine. You can do that. I would just keep them shorter. So I always think if it's going to be a longer one and it's a planned event, Facebook group, scheduled event. If it's just me inspired while I'm at the grocery store and I just want to grab my phone and go, not scheduled. You can't schedule that. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. All right. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Emmy says, with my small following, I don't know that there will be anybody on a live. Okay, let me tell you something, Emmy. That's true with a big following. You could have thousands of people. And if this is the first time you're ever going live, you might not have anybody tune in live. You get into this situation, it is the chicken or the egg. You will never have people join you live if you don't start going live. So as much as we want to say, I'm not going to go live until I would actually have people on, you're going to be waiting for forever. You got to start, and you got to know out of the gate that for the first few, nobody's going to be there. This is a great time to practice because there's no pressure there. Take the pressure off. First few lives that you're going to do, nobody's going to be there. Awesome. Takes the pressure way off. Over time, as you start to get consistent, if you start showing up consistently, same day, same time, that's when people start showing up for your lives. When you start showing your audience that you give valuable, juicy stuff in your life, stuff that they actually want and need that actually helps them in some way. I don't mean it has to be a how-to, helps them in some way. That's when people start joining. It's no different than when we binge watch our favorite television shows. Okay. You'll watch an episode. That's why they do a pilot. You watch an episode and you'll be like, I don't know. Okay, maybe I'll watch one more. But if I'm not feeling it and it's not good, I might be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to watch the show anymore. But if I get value and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so good. Now I want to binge watch everything that person does. You will create that same kind of feeling in your own spaces. Okay. So get comfortable knowing nobody's going to be on. Nobody's going to be on. What you want to do, just like we talked about with eye contact, is I want you to imagine that you have your perfect person on the other side of that camera. I don't even want you to look at how many people are on. In fact, I would tell you, take a Post-it note and cover that little space so you don't even see the number. And what I want you to do instead is visualize, or if you have their picture, and I just want you to talk to her. And I want you to just pour everything you have on everything that you have planned into just talking to her. Ask her questions, engage with her, pause to let her answer the questions, even if she's not there. It will translate into an awesome video. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Mary Beth, are you saying I have squirrel syndrome? I even snorted there. I don't know if you heard that. Yes, I very much have squirrel syndrome. That's why I have to have notes. That's why I'm teaching all the things that I teach, because I know how easy it is to get off on tangents. Okay. Lynn says, I'm the kind of person who looks at a person all dressed up to the nines, perfectly all made up, and then I start to look for a run in the stocking or a chip in the fingernail. I need the flaws that I can relate to. Yes. Right? We don't want perfect anymore. We want real people. Okay. So there's a lesson in all of that for all of you, right? Be yourself. When you're trying to be somebody you're not, man, you are going to exhaust yourself. Okay. Mary Beth says, Go Live League is like the Justice League. Only video communications is our superpower. Rock on, Mary Beth. I love that. So much. I'm gonna have to. You're giving me some marketing ideas here. Jeanette says the Go Live League is the very best. It's helped me so much. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Okay. Outside the focus, I observe your nails aren't painted today. Yes, they are. They are glitter. Look. Oh, you can't see. They are. There's glitter. I'm very proud of my glitter. It took me. I don't even want to. Nope. Mary Beth, I'm going to stay focused. I'm not going to do that. But what you may notice is that it's not as bright. Okay. Doesn't stand out as much as you may want. Okay. Okay. Mary Beth says the delay is why some people do a noisy active beginning, like waving their hands and saying, hey, 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 hi, y'all. Okay. So yes, that can be. But if you feel compelled to do that, keep it short. And if you really want to do it right, make it relevant. Make it relevant to what you're talking about. Okay. So today we spent the first few minutes. Now this is a different kind of live because this is part of a challenge, right? But we spent the first few minutes recapping last week. Okay. Now that was intentional, but it also allowed more people to join the live before we got to the stuff itself. So some other things that you can do. I forgot that hold on here. My reminder just came up. I got a call in 7 minutes. You can use a countdown timer. Now you can't do that just in Facebook. You have to do something like Zoom or StreamYard which is a little bit more complex. But there's pros and cons to that. Okay. So you do have other options. But you will find your way. What you just don't want to do is it's like, don't call out that you're waiting for people. That would be the best thing that I can say. Don't say, all right, I'm just waiting for a few more people to join, because what that tells your person who's on is that they don't matter. Okay, I see you were here and you were on time and you put it on your calendar. And so thank you for that. I'm glad you're here, but I'm waiting for the more important people to come. No, how's that make them feel? It makes them feel horrible. Don't do that. So if you're wanting to have a conversation, just have a conversation about things that are relevant to what you're talking about there. ask them a question. Don't just fill it with blah, 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 and just keep it short. And then the hard part really is you start to go, how much time until I have the right number that now I feel okay to start? See, you just get down the slippery slope and it just doesn't end well. Well, let's see. I've got 7 people on. I wanted 10. Do I wait? Yeah, let's wait. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Looking for questions. Hang on. I'm looking for questions. Glad I can be entertaining to you guys. Okay, Lucy says, can we go live in the group and schedule it for later? Okay. Yes, there are software programs that allow you to do that. Usually they're paid programs. But my question would be this: why would you want to do that? Because the power of being live with them means that as they ask questions, as they give you input, you can use it live. And that is the amazing bit of it. That's the wonderful part of it. If you go live and it's not live and they can't engage with you, they kind of go, oh, so it's not live. Like, have you ever done that? Like, you sign up for somebody's freebie and they call it a workshop. And you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait to be on the workshop. And then you get on the workshop and it's not a workshop. It's a pre-recorded workshop. And you're like, so they can't answer my questions. Oh my gosh, it makes me crazy. And I get why people do that. So I am not a big fan of the go live and schedule it for later. If you're going to do that, you might as well just pre-record it and schedule it, because I believe that one of the most powerful things you can do is be consistent with your once a week live. So if you're going to go live once a week and it's going to be every Tuesday at 2:00, what happens when you do that is it puts you into a place of a pattern. So you can plan accordingly. You block time on your calendar. It helps your ideal person because they now know every Tuesday at 2:00, I can come in and learn from Lucy. And it helps the algorithm because now you're creating a pattern that it can detect and monitor. Okay. So I'm a big fan of that. So if you're going to go on vacation, let's say, and you can't be live at your normal day and time, pre-record it and schedule it and go enjoy your vacation. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. Hope that answers your question. Okay. I think I answered Emmy's question. I realize nobody be there, but do you still do hook, story, call to action if there's nobody there? Yeah, you do. You do. Now, you can't necessarily see their answers, right? So what you can say is, for those of you that are watching on the replay, I can't wait to see what you say. I can't wait to see what you say, how you answer that question. Or sometimes I'll say, even if you're watching on the replay, I still want you to answer the question because I'll come back and I'll comment with you after the fact. Okay, super compelling. When we ask the question, then what do we do? Okay, hopefully I answered that for you, Emmy. Back to the Justice League. You all are already talking about who's going to be who for super women, superheroes. I love it. I love it. Okay. I don't see any other questions. Oh, where'd my questions go? Okay. Last chance for questions if you got them. This is actually perfectly timed. I now have 2 minutes so I can go to the bathroom before my next call. Oh, I know what else I was going to say. I know what else I was going to talk about. With the Go Live League. Okay. If you want to check out what the Go Live League is all about, I will send you the link to the landing page. I'm just going to send you the regular one, so at least you can watch a video. There's a really great video on the landing page that I would recommend that you watch and learn all about it, okay? Just remember that that's paying the full price, not with the coupon. So if you're going to participate in this challenge and go live all 4 times, you can check out the Go Live League. Just don't pay for it until you get your coupon to get in for the $1. That makes sense? Hopefully I didn't confuse you. So I'll make sure you guys have that. I think it's actually in your workbook. I think the link to check out the Go Live League, there's a link in your day 3 workbook that you can click on to watch the video, but I'll post it so you've got it. Okay. Okay. No more questions. Thank y'all for being here. See you on Thursday, and I cannot wait to watch your videos. Do your lives. Have fun with this. I can't wait to learn all sorts of tools and resources and hear your great questions. That's going to be awesome. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys. See ya.